I'm tired of all these crappy, lazy, mediocre Pokemon games. I want to play a good game on my Switch for once, and Breath of the Wild 2 is still far off. Oh wait, that game is delayed again? Damn! What do I do till then?
Gireum, red.
Hello fellow Jerrycans. Finally, a major Nintendo release for me to review that isn't goddamn Pokemon. I could have done a video for Metroid Dread I guess, but I didn't cause reasons. Anyways, this game was interesting because it felt like it came out of nowhere. No one knew that there was gonna be a new Kirby game coming out soon, let alone the first major 3D Kirby game, and it was announced randomly on a September Nintendo Direct last year with a March release the next year. So there was barely any time to get hyped for the game, and this game's existence was a surprise. So I just bought the game because the trailer looked interesting, and it looked cute because it's Kirby, and I didn't expect much from this game. And, to my pleasant surprise, oh boy guys, this game is great, and I might even call it a masterpiece. It was such a joy to play this game, and this game is hella lot of fun. It was a refreshing experience, and super adorable because of the pink marshmallow man. Why is it so great? Part 1. Mario Comparison and Worries. Well, before I begin the review, I must preface my personal history with the Kirby series. I'm not really a big Kirby guy. The first Kirby game I've ever played was Kirby Squeak Squad on the DS because it was the first Kirby game ever released in my home country. I liked that game and beat it as a kid, but I was surprised to find that most Kirby fans don't like that game. Huh. Anyways, the next Kirby game I played was Kirby Triple Deluxe on the 3DS because I needed something to play on the 3DS. And the game was too boring because it was too easy, and the game felt very bland, so I ended up not even completing it. I also heard Robo Planet is really good, but I didn't end up playing it because it came out at the end of the 3DS lifespan, and I couldn't get the game to run on my pirated 3DS for some reason. LOL. Anyways, because of that, I don't call myself a big Kirby fan. I've only played like 2 games, and one I didn't even enjoy. So, I really don't know if this game did a great service to the Kirby series, or is a middle finger to die-hard fans or something. I'm judging this game really as a casual gamer, trying to get back into Kirby games who enjoy platform games in general. Got that? Okay. However, there is one series that I'm very familiar with, and that's the Mario series. I love playing the Super Mario games, and I've played about every single installment, and it's my favorite platformer series. So, I may make some comparisons to the Mario series because it's my video and I can do whatever the hell I want. Anyways, mentioning Mario, the moment I saw the box art and saw the trailer, the first game I thought of was Super Mario Odyssey. On the surface, both games are kinda similar. It's both about 2 cute, colorful Nintendo mascots traveling through hyper-realistic worlds they don't belong into, out of their usual norm environment. Mario being outside of the cartoony Mushroom Kingdom, Kirby outside of cartoony Dreamland. The abandoned city really looks similar to Mudong City in Odyssey. Also, the copy abilities are really similar to Cappy, and the story of the game is kinda similar, especially with the final boss fight. So, I was expecting a Mario Odyssey-esque game, a game where Kirby goes on an adventure in open sandbox environment looking for moons or stars or whatever. But when I turned on the game, I discovered the game was totally different from Odyssey. Every level is very linear, and most of the areas are pretty claustrophobic, and each level is about 10-minute long courses. You can barely move the camera. The game is not really a free roaming game. It felt more like Super Mario 3D World than Mario Odyssey, and I really did not enjoy 3D World by the way. The game was really mediocre compared to Odyssey or even the Galaxy games. So, because I was reminded of a meh game, the game didn't have a good first impression on me. Also, the city graphics in the beginning looked too good, and when the graphics are too good and detailed, I was worried this game will have a short main campaign or the developers cut corners to finish the game in the later half. But then I remembered, oh yeah, I'm not playing a game made by incompetent people. I'm playing a game made by people that care and love Kirby. And when I got to like level 2, I began to fall in love with the game, and here's why. Part 2. The goals and the creepy worlds. The first reason why I enjoyed this game so much was that every level is so detailed with secrets, and the game gives you a lot of incentive to inspect every corner of each levels. There are so many hidden secrets and goals in every level, and this game's replay value is just fucking insane. To compare to Mario again, in linear stage like Mario games, ever since New Super Mario Bros., they have added 3 star coins or green stars in places that's hard to get to. Optional goals for hardcore players to try to achieve that casual or pussy monkey brain players can ignore if they choose to. Well, this game actually improves on the concept with every level having about 5 missions to achieve, instead of just trying to find a certain object. There's the classic find the hidden captured Waddle Dees and rescue them that acts like Super Mario's star coins, but there's more goals than that. Goals like beating the car section in a certain time, or get rid of all the hidden wanted posters of Kirby, or defeat a mid-boss with a certain specific copy ability, or random ones like take a nap by the swimming pool in the Desert Oasis Resort level, or really super fucking hard ones like beat the final boss if I can hit once. Really?
You're familiar with Billy Mitchell, world video game champion? He could probably do it. So I gotta find a way to harness his power, and I think I found a way.
That's right, we're gonna cheat.
Anyways, because there are so many hidden goals to unlock, it feels really satisfying when you unlock a secret in a level, and each level is just jam-packed with secret areas and items in every section. Ooh, discover a hidden area by looking hard? How satisfying. Also, the game is worth a lot of replays if you want to 100% complete it. Of course, like any good game, it's not
mandatory,
so you can skip all the missions and just try to get to the end of each level if you're a 4-year-old baby or a virgin gamer, or
if you don't care about seeing the true ending.
But note that you won't be able to unlock stuff at the hub town that requires Waddle Dees, aka completed missions. So yes, there's a purpose to collecting all the gold Waddle Dees. You can unlock stuff like minigames or shops in the town, so it's not just there for collection enthusiasts or 100% completion nutters. There's also hidden figures to collect, just like another franchise that has roots in HAL production. I think it'll be annoying if I want to collect 100% of these, but finding a random figure capsule in the middle of a level is always a joy because you uncover the secret. It serves the same purpose as Korok seeds, and annoying like Korok seeds. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty. What I also like about the game is the atmosphere of each levels. Even though I'm not familiar with the Kirby series, I know traditionally it's a series that looks really cute on the surface but really fucked up underneath with dark themes and creepy past debates. Well, this game felt like they maximized that aspect of the series to 1000 because of these world designs. Instead of the usual bland dreamland that looks cartoonish and cute, Kirby goes through abandoned cities that look creepy as hell. From abandoned subway tunnels, to abandoned malls due to gentrification, to creepy neon killing jokers fun houses.
You're going mad.
To an Arrakis spice nightmare drug trip.
My planet Arrakis is so beautiful when the sun is low.
To the first half of the movie WALL-E. To Disney World. To literally hell, or I guess Grumble Volcano on Mario Kart Wii. And the list of weirdness goes on. Each level feels unique and special, and there were no environments that felt like it was created by copy-pasting assets, unlike a certain other mediocre Mario game that I mentioned in the beginning, and I commend that. Also, even though the environment is all fucked up, dark, nightmare, post-apocalypse worlds, all the creatures including Kirby himself and the enemies are so cute, cartoonish, and cuddly, so it's super jarring, and I love it. I really can't explain why it works, but I think it has something to do with the innocence of the main character of Kirby, I guess. It's really like the movie WALL-E. Innocent, cute character in a really dark environment. Also, have you ever noticed this about the game? They never play scary or ambient music, even in the creepiest environments. It's always chippy Kirby happy music in every level. It's so jarring and almost funny. There's a part where you go inside an abandoned subway tunnel, like Metro 2033, and it's still happy, cheery music playing in there with cute characters. If this was any other game, there would have been ambient Minecraft cave sounds or scary music playing. It's a horror game, but with constant uplifting music playing in the background with cute characters. You know what? Let's try it on a real horror game and see what's that like. Anyways, because the world is so weird and there's many kinds of environments, the whole game is just a joy to play through. good, detailed map design with reasons to explore and many worlds to explore. Just what I want from a video game. Part 3. Copy abilities and Mouthful. Beside the map design, the combat of the game was wonderful to me as well. This is the first 3D Kirby game, and I'm kinda surprised it took this long for Kirby to transition from 2D to 3D, but hey, better late than never, right? Also, maybe being late and only making the jump when you have the competency to make proper 3D games is a good idea, unlike a certain other game company and a shitty series.
それはわかんない。
Anyways, I noticed they took away Kirby's infinite float ability. In fact, Kirby can barely float in this game, but it's not a deal breaker at all. I guess Kirby being able to float anywhere in a 3D environment wouldn't work. The copy abilities are very fun too. All of the copy abilities have been designed to work well in a 3D environment, and the combat is really fun. It's really enjoyable creating combos with enemies, like as if this is a God of War or Dynasty Warrior game. The sword and boomerang one is really fun to create combos and attack a lot of enemies at the same time. My favorite ability was the spike one, because you can basically just roll around like that Katamari Damacy game or something. The only problem I have with an ability is the drill. The drill ability was the shittiest one in my opinion. It just controlled horribly, and it was hard to tell when you were underground or not. Every copy ability is fun, but man, fuck the drill. Now, I've seen people complain that there's 2 less copy abilities in the game compared to previous games, but I don't mind it at all. After all, you can upgrade all the abilities, and every ability gets a new feature every time they get upgraded. Like the ice one gets the ability to create a snowman that attacks enemies. The fire one, you can do something akin to a falcon punch as a dragon. And the bomb one, you can get the ability to chain up and tactically bomb enemies with homing bombs. And I just don't think some classic abilities will work in a 3D environment. For example, I've seen people question why the beam isn't in the game, but I don't think it will work in a 3D environment. That weapon might only work on a 2D plane. Also, even if there aren't enough copy abilities, the game makes it up by having a lot of mouthful transformations. Basically, Kirby gobbles up an inanimate object, and all of these are fun. Out of these mouthful abilities, I liked these. There's Kirby, where the game suddenly changes into a Mario Kart game, and I like that there are levels specifically designed for the time attacks, with racetracks. There's Combi, where you get the ability to ground pound like Yoshi. There's Vending Machine B, where you're suddenly playing Contra. There's Water B, where you're suddenly playing Super Mario Sunshine. There's Roll B, where you can steamroll enemies in combos and slide down slopes in a super fun way. There's OB,
Obi-Wan Kenobi,
where you can create puffs of wind to kill enemies and use it as a sail on a boat. Man, what were these developers high on when making this game? Did they look outside the window and saw random objects in the street and thought, hey, what if Kirby ate that like a creepy weirdo? Anyways, I also like that there were additional mini levels spread across the map, where you have to beat a short obstacle course designed for a certain ability while using the said ability. All of these are super tense and fun to beat, and they were a nice distraction break from the main campaign. They really went all out on making the abilities fun and having a lot of things to do with them, and I commend the developers for doing so. The boss battles at the end of each world were very fun too. Every boss had a lot of attack patterns to challenge the player. My favorite one was the Rule 34 furry hentai bait one, where you're literally fighting the love child of Wolverine at Marvel and Cheetah at DC. Tough as nails sword fight, she kinda reminded me of Gireum from Skyward Sword, which I liked. I also heard that there's dodging and parrying attacks by timing the skid button and crouch button at the same time or some shit, and you can do bullet time like Breath of the Wild, but I don't know, I wasn't able to pull it off. The game's combat was fun as it is. Part 4. Some minor problems of the game. Anyways, that's all the compliments of the game I have, and it's a really solid game that I highly recommend everyone to buy and get. However, like every game, there are some few minor downsides and nitpicks that I have to mention, so let the complaining begin. First, the side character is useless. I think the developers were trying to make this character like Cappy in Super Mario Odyssey, a cute character friend to accompany the hero, but Cappy in Mario Odyssey was always with you in the game. He actually had a purpose in game as the ability to possess enemies or use it as a jump boost. This bunny character, whose name I couldn't fucking remember while I'm writing the script because it was so forgettable, only shows up in cutscenes and in the overworld. What is the point of this character? They make a great deal about it and Kirby's friendship, and there's even a point where Kirby has to rescue it, but it serves no purpose to the game other than a plot device in the story. I feel like this bunny theme was a missed opportunity. Second, they reused some of the boss battles too much, specifically the middle boss battles. I think there's only like 4 of them in the entire game, and you have seen all of them after you beat the second world. After that, it just feels distracting when they keep constantly randomly appearing in the later levels. It feels like padding to make the game longer, and since it's the same mid-bosses over and over again, it gets really boring, really quick. And finally, while the graphics are good, the frame drops at faraway objects is insanely bad. It's super distracting, almost to the point of looking bad as Legends Arceus. Why are these characters so slow when moving like they're glitching out? During fast-paced sections like the gliding or racing sections, you cannot help but notice these slow frames in the distance. Still, I think the game makes up for it with some really breathtaking vistas and areas, and after playing Pokemon Legends Arceus and seeing Baron Hisui, I forgot the Switch could actually show good graphics with amazing looking environments. Some of these areas look so fucking amazing, it seems almost a miracle the game is running on a handheld console. Great job, HAL Laboratory. Part 5, the ending. Before I wrap up the review, I want to talk about the final hour and ending of the game. If you don't want yourself spoiled, you can skip to this time mark. Ready? Okay. So the fake final boss of the game is King Dedede. He's not that hard, and he's a quick boss, and you know it can't be the final boss. After you beat him though, the game's mood suddenly takes a complete 180 turn, and it's the start of the train to Crazy Town. Suddenly, you get on an elevator. There's fucking voice acting in the game. It's so creepy, the entire game has had no voice acting. Then suddenly, the game turns into the intro of Half-Life or Portal. What a way to dupe and shock the gamers who made it up to this point. It came out of nowhere. The narrator talks about a freak science experiment gone wrong, and you know it's talking about the final boss of the game. And I like to note, this is an excellent way to build up to the final boss. Then, you reach the science room where the final boss is being held in a jar. You have to fight the mayor character from Zootopia for some reason, but that's not even the final boss. The final boss suddenly starts to break out and... Ew, what is this? The game suddenly turns into a Resident Evil monster, and man, this game is just fucking weird and I love it. The actual final boss battle of the game takes place on a roof, and man, this fucker is challenging. There's so many attack patterns and phases to this boss, and when that bunny thing starts to throw moons at you like Thanos on Titan, it's almost fucking impossible to dodge. It took me 3 tries, and even the final time, I barely managed to pull it off. But then, it's still not the end. The game frankly rips off Mario Odyssey again here, where in that game you possessed Bowser at a special final stage, but here you possess a giant truck. Then everything starts to explode, you have to dodge comets and drive on falling buildings and shit. Holy fuck, I can't believe this game is running on Switch right now.
It's so dense, every single image has so many things going on.
And when you reach the end, that's the real ending of the game. You defeat Lady Bonnie Cthulhu, and phew, what a finale. And people said I was heartless for not getting excited or amazed when Giratina showed up at the end of Pokemon Legends Arceus. This is how you do a final boss fight finale in an actual video game. Not just a character appearing in a tech demo. Crazy, awesome, exploding shit! Anyways, let's summarize all the things I liked about the game. The game's world and lore building is deep. The level design in this game is just phenomenal. It's smart, that encourages thinking and exploration. The combat and gameplay is really fun, with the classic copy abilities working well in this 3D environment, and the new Mouthful abilities all being wacky, and bringing new types of gameplay to the main game. There were barely any problems, and the game is just polished as hell. In short, this has been one of the most successful jump from 2D to 3D a platform franchise has ever had in a long while. This is Kirby's first real 3D platformer game, but it doesn't feel anything like it. HAL Laboratory perfected the gameplay of a 3D Kirby game with their first try, and I just commend the game developers on this fun experience. So in the end, Kirby and the Forgotten Lands has become my favorite Kirby game of all time, and one of my favorite first-party Switch games of all time, alongside games like Zelda, Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, and Fire Emblem Three Houses. If you know me, you know that's high praise. Therefore, in conclusion, Kirby and the Forgotten Land was an unforgettable experience. Get it? Cause the title is forgotten, but the game's so great it's unforgettable. Fuck it.